Stop trying to be a better person. Seriously. Because most of the time, that's not the problem. In my clinic, I see people every day who feel exhausted because they are trying to willpower their way out of anxiety or a short temper or shutting down under pressure. They think it is a character issue, but more often than not, it is not. It is more of a nervous system issue. And you cannot out-yell your own nervous system. Imagine you're teaching a teenager how to drive. They're merging onto a 70-mile-per-hour highway. A car honks at them, they panic, and the car starts to drift. Now, imagine you're sitting in the passenger seat just yelling, "Be a better driver! Drive better!" What happens? They don't magically improve. In fact, they will get worse. Because in that moment, their brain is overloaded. And here's the key. Wanting to do better isn't the same as having the skills to do better under pressure. That's how most people treat themselves. You snap at your kid, you freeze in a meeting, you shut down in a conversation, and your response is, try harder next time. But trying harder without the necessary tools just burns you out a lot faster. Let's break it down. What's happening? Without overcomplicating it, when stress ramps up, your brain shifts into a more reactive state. Your alarm system, the amygdala, it gets louder. And the part of your brain responsible for planning, decision-making, and restraint, it doesn't disappear, but it becomes a lot harder to access reliably. So in those moments, telling yourself, just think clearly, is like trying to give a speech while the fire alarm is going off. Is it possible? Yes. Is it reliable, and can people understand and hear you? Not really. So instead of relying on your thoughts and yelling at yourself, you need something that your body can do automatically. I'll be honest, this hit me personally. There was a stretch of time where I'd come home after a long shift, exhausted, mentally drained, and something small, like say, a dish in the sink, would feel way bigger than it should. And I could feel it happening in real time, tension in my chest, short tone, and afterward, I would think to myself, why did I react like that? Not because I didn't know better, but because in that moment, I didn't have a bridge back to control. That's when I started using something simple. I call it the 3-second circuit breaker. It is not magic. It's not a cure. It is just a way to interrupt the spiral before it builds momentum. See, for me, it is cold contact. When I feel that internal heat, I grab something cold. And I usually use an ice cube. I hold it in my hands and it helps to kind of ground me in the moment. You could use cold water. You can even splash cold water on your face. That sensory shift doesn't erase the emotion, but it interrupts the escalation and it gives you just enough space to respond instead of react. See, the goal isn't to copy mine. It is to find your version of a circuit breaker. Something simple, physical, and repeatable. It could be a slow exhale. And remember, with exhales, you want your exhale to be longer than the inhale. It could be pressing your feet firmly on the ground and kind of grounding yourself and tuning your attention to it. It could be splashing cold water on your face, right? But here's the part that most people miss. You cannot wait until you're overwhelmed to learn this skill. You have to practice it when you're calm, while you're making coffee, while you're watching TV, because you're not just learning a trick, you're building a muscle reflex, muscle memory. And reflexes are what show up when we're under pressure. So, if you've been hard on yourself, thinking, why can't I just get it together? Take a step back. It might not be a character flaw. It might just be that no one ever taught you how to work with your nervous system. And if this doesn't work perfectly right away, that's normal. Skills like this take reps, but the shift starts here. Stop shouting at your brain and start training it. See, I'm curious, what's one circuit breaker that you could try this week? All right, type it in the comments. And if you want more practical tools like this, grounded in real life, not just theory, hit subscribe to the channel. Let's build it the right way. All right, see ya.